Hey guys, welcome back to Medical Coding with Blue. Today's episode is, are there too many medical coders? If you are brand new to my channel, welcome. I am Blue, I'm a medical coder. All right, I get this question an awful lot. Blue, is there such a thing as there is too many medical coders? I'm hearing about all these people that are graduating. The market seems to be being flooded with all brand new coders. What's the deal? Okay, so here's the thing. Just because there are a lot of medical coding students and just because there are a lot of medical coding student graduates does not translate to this is how many people actually get in the field. Okay, so let's just start by breaking this down. I'm going to make it really nice and simple. All right, 100 people get into a medical coding program, right? 100 people. Of that 100 people, you're going to be down to about half that actually finish the program, because the other half is going to be like, well, this is actually too much for me. I'm not that smart, which is a load of crap. But, well, I can't do this because my family, XYZ. Again, another excuse, because if you really want to do something different for your life, you want to do something different for yourself, you will make a way. There will be nothing and no one that can ever stop you. But that's another episode, okay? But that's that aside, those are some of the excuses that those half have, okay? So now we're down to 50 people, right, who make it through a program. 50 people who make it through a program. Now, right, we got to get to the test. So we got to get to the test. All right. So of that 50 people, there's going to be about 30 people that will test, because 20 will be like, I can't do this, or I just need a little bit more time to study, or I'm not confident enough in my abilities to be able to do this, so I'm just going to wait until I am. And then a year or 2 years later, then they're regretting that they didn't even give themselves a chance to even sit for the exam. Okay, so let's take those 20 out. Now we're down to 30. We're down to 30 people. All right, 30 people who sit and pass their certification exam. All right, awesome. Okay, now of these 30 people, we're going to get down to another half, okay? There's going to be 15 that are not going to be able to find a job within the first 6 months. They're going to get frustrated and they're just going to give it up. All that time, all that money, all that energy, they're just going to throw it away because they didn't get a job in the first 6 months. Well, the reason that they didn't get a job is because they have a bad resume. They have a bad cover letter. They cannot pass a background check. They cannot pass a screening, if you know what I mean. Or they can't simply get themselves out there enough to find a job. Okay, so now that 15 out of the way, now we're down to 15 people who actually made it, finally got a job, finally or got their foot in the door somehow, some way. They either started with billing, medical records, or even coding. Okay, any type of coding. Okay, prior authorizations, they're in. Those 15 are in. So out of 100 people who started, 15 of them are left. And that's generous, because it's not always the case. I hear from people all the time who are in these medical coding programs and say, Blue, my class started out with 25, there's only 2 of us left. It's true, folks. People get intimidated. They get sold a product, right? A lot of times these schools, they are out there to sell a product. They have to. This is their livelihood. This is how they keep money coming in, food on the table, the lights on. This is how they're able to do it, by selling a dream. The rest of it is entirely up to the individual. Sometimes they're able to be sold this product because they say, oh yes, it's so easy. And why anybody would believe anybody who says that medical coding is so easy is wrong. Because we are working in the medical field. We are working with a different language completely altogether. These medical terms, they are something else. This is not for the faint at heart. You know, you have to really want to be a medical coder to get in this, because there's going to be quite a bit of obstacles that you're going to run into. And there's going to be quite a bit of people in the beginning telling you no. The problem with brand new medical coders is that they don't know how to express what they've learned. and they say, well, Blue, I've never been a medical coder before. No, but you have training. And there's a difference between somebody who has training and somebody who doesn't have training, obviously, right? So you know medical terminology, anatomy, pathophysiology, you know your diagnosis coding, and you know your procedure coding. You know how to do evaluation and management. You may not be strong in it. You may not like it, but it is a fact of life for us, for a lot of us medical coders, is to do evaluation and management. And if you don't know a lot about evaluation and management, I strongly recommend that you go back through my videos and look at all of the helpful tips that I've given about evaluation and management. So that's just something to know. On my Patreon channel currently, I am doing a breakdown of evaluation and management, and we're going slow. We are going slow. I'm doing 4 lessons per month about the different stages. What is history? What is physical exam? What is review of systems? The reason that I am going slow is because this is how I learned. I learned by the building blocks. I read the entire evaluation and management book. That is what I did, because you have to learn the slow way. The slow way is the fast way, all right? So I'm doing that on my Patreon channel. And once a month, we are going together over everything that we've reviewed for that month. And I'm answering questions. And I do that live over Zoom. So if you're interested in my Patreon channel, check it out. The link for that is down below. So just another resource out there if you are looking to get more familiar with evaluation and management. But that aside, when it comes to how you're presenting yourself and what you're able and you're capable of doing anything. You know, sometimes people will discount themselves and they'll say, well, I've never done this. I can't do this. You went to school for it. It's not like you're walking in with no knowledge. You are walking in with something. Well, Blue, I don't feel like the school helped me. I don't feel like I learned anything. You can learn from a book. You can learn from a book. Get a workbook, whatever workbooks they gave you with the school. Get those and start working back through them. But a lot of times I still see people asking the same question. I don't get it. I don't understand. I don't get it. Work through the workbook. Find a mentor. Find a tutor. I'm a tutor. My rates are in the description box below. There's a ton of tutors on LinkedIn if you're looking for that. There's also a ton of people who are willing to mentor on LinkedIn. So if you are on LinkedIn, LinkedIn is a wonderful resource to find lots of things for medical coders. You can find free continuing education units. You can find mentors. You can find people that you can connect with. It is about making those connections. It is so important. Guys, doing your research is another thing. You know, when you are out there actively looking for a job, right? And you're trying to get out there and you're trying to make your way in this field, the people that are sitting back and complaining that no one is giving them a chance aren't being as proactive. You know, you have to make sure that your resume looks good. You have to make sure your cover letter looks good. Well, Blue, I don't like to write. It's not about what you want, folks. It is not about what you want. What you like, what you dislike, you know, it doesn't matter. If you want to get into this, you will find a way. You will get registered with the temp agencies like I've been telling you guys. And I tell y'all this because this is how I got my start. And did I have those months of getting the door slammed on my face? You don't have experience? Yes. But there is a way around that. It is called going to the temp agency. You know, sometimes people think that going to working in working with scheduling might get you in. Scheduling is a dead end, guys. It only works out for a very small percentage of folks. Because with scheduling, there's nothing that has nothing to do with medical coding. Nothing at all whatsoever. So if my advice to you is, if you're looking, look for a medical billing job. Look for a prior authorizations job. Look for medical coding. And even if they are asking for experience, you should still apply anyway. This is why having a good resume and a good cover letter stands out. Because if your resume is 3 pages and more, no, you need to get rid of it. You need to cut it down. You need to do something to it, but it should be no more than 2 pages. Ideally, it is 1 page, but I write resumes all the time, and I have 2-page resumes, and people get hired all the time with those. And I get people telling me all the time that they've had more feedback since I've rewritten their resume. There is a charge for this. I have to charge for it, guys. I can't do it for free because I would be inundated. And before, when I first started my channel and I was talking about resumes and how important they were, I was inundated with resumes. And I didn't do rewrites back then, but I do them now. So, you know, if you're interested, again, see the description box for those rates. But it's important that you guys put your best foot forward and that you're still practicing with your books. If you are not practicing with your books, that's part of the problem. This is why new people don't get hired, because as soon as they get that certification, oh, I've got my certification, I don't have to study anymore. You need to study, so make sure you're still studying. But no, just because there's a lot of graduates, this does not mean that the market is going to be flooded because they're all going to get jobs. A lot of them aren't. And like I said, if you want to go back through the math, we started at 100 and we ended at 15. That's not good. But that's something that is true and it happens. You know, that's the thing. You have to be ready for it. And again, not everybody gets into it. Somebody commented on the last video that I did, you just made it worse. How can I make it worse when I'm telling the truth? You know? So again, if you understand what I'm saying, you'll get my message. But no, there's not. It's not going to be flooded. Okay, because again, this is a technical job. This is a technical career field. We have to know things. And just because you get certified, just because you get a job, doesn't mean you're even going to be able to keep it. Because what if you're not meeting production? What if you're not meeting accuracy? Now, accuracy in production can be met by putting in extra effort. This means learning your coding guidelines, making sure that you are up on your coding clinics, so that way you can successfully defend yourself in audits. Sometimes new medical coders think that they shouldn't argue back. But you should argue back, especially if you have evidence as supporting the reason that you selected that code. Because auditors are not infallible. They will make mistakes. So just keep that in mind. You know, don't be scared. It is about learning, and everybody, you know, has to learn. And we are bound by ethical standards to speak up when we see incorrect coding. Okay? Not just sit there and just say, oh, okay. Now, if the auditor is correct, then obviously the auditor is correct. But that means that you really need to buckle down and start learning again. And if it's production, sometimes people will tell me, Blue, I can't keep up with my production standards. What do I do? And these same people have these production time stealers, which is they have their phone in their face. The phone is not the place for the workplace at all. If you are on break, absolutely. But if you are working, you need to be working. Well, Blue, my family, my kids, you know, I came from a time where we didn't have all of that. We didn't have cell phones. Okay, so we still all made it. Everybody was okay, you know, and so that's the thing. You know, if it's truly an emergency, they will be able to get a hold of you. But you don't need to be sitting there on your phone, because that will take all the time in the world away from you, you know, when you're trying to get focused on what you're doing. It's very important that you stay focused on those charts and those encounters, because when you do, that's somebody's chart. You got to keep that in mind. And what you are saying, that by translating what this provider did, or verifying to make sure that the codes that are selected are correct, that patient has to pay out. And you want to make sure that that's correct at all times, because you would want that for yourself, right? I'm just saying. So that's my advice for today. If you're in school, keep trying, keep studying, and get in there and get it done. Because if that's truly what you want, if you want to be a medical coder, if you want to have this lifestyle where you have a stable career field that you can grow and intellectually be stimulated all the time, then you have to stick with it through the good, the bad, and the ugly. I'm just saying. I'm going to wrap this one up. Thank you guys so much for joining me, and I will see y'all again next time. Bye.